the presents showed up. Do you think it's possible that he's the source of it? Back up. What was that? I don't know what you're saying. I wonder if stronger tamers like Miss Mila, who at least have stars, would understand what you're trying to say. I wish I knew what was wrong. Huh? Now that
You know what's been so nice to see? The beginning of this show, right? The beginning of Weakest Tamer. I thought it was just like okay, like very mid anime, trying to be like that, trying to be in like that slice of life space, trying to be in that same space that encompasses like Natsume's Friends, or like By the Grace of the Gods, or maybe even a more recent how do you say it? A more recent comparison might be Furin. I will watch like the first 5-6 episodes of Furin. Not for me, but hey, people love it. I think that could be a pretty good experience, comparison by experience. The reality is the first couple episodes though, like they were okay, like they're watchable, and because they're dubbed, they're even more watchable. If you've been around the channel for a while, I'm a huge fan of dubbed anime. I don't speak Japanese. I can understand a word here and there. Maybe I can say a phrase or two. But the reality is, I don't know Japanese. I want to learn it. I've tried to learn it. It just didn't. You know, much like I'm sure many of you do, or have, or whatever. Like the reality is, we speak English, and that's, you know, I would like to be able to completely understand something. And sometimes when you're reading, you have to pause. You have to rewind a little bit. Sometimes you can't just. You find yourself just watching the subs. You're like, well, what the hell happened on the screen? So that's why dubbed is awesome. People hate dub, but hey, whatever. Each person likes their own ice cream flavor, right? So what I'm getting at is this show has been a really good example. And honestly, there's not a whole lot of them, because I do think that, you know, most of us do like the whole 3-episode rule. I'm a firm believer that episode 1 is like, that's the hook. Like that's where you get folks. And I'm a believer of episode 1 is pretty telling what you're going to get for the season. But every so often you do get a show that really shows you that, hey, if you stick around with us, like you're going to be in for a treat. And ever since I think about episode 5, and I think it was episode 5, it might be 4, correct me if I'm wrong, but once Ivy started, you know, interacting with people and got to the village and stuff, and she wasn't on her own so much anymore, I feel like once people, the outside people, started to come into her circle, the anime, like, it blossomed. And ever since then, it's told this cool story about this little kid with a really hunger to learn more about people, but with a fierceness or a resistance to understanding that, hey, people are bad, and I gotta put myself first, and I can't be super trusting or anything. Like, she's, by happenstance and by experience, she's gone through some stuff, and she's learned that she can't be like super trusting. So even this episode is a really good showing of that emotional and street smarts, that emotional intelligence that she really has and carries with her. And ever since then, it's blossomed, and I've really loved her interacting with people. First, it was the guardsmen, and I love the emotionality, and I love the relationship that she built very quickly there. And then in recent episodes, it's these, two groups of adventurers in this blacksmith, swordsmith, lightning guild, whatever it is. And she's met some cool people, and she's been getting that icky feeling of somebody watching her. And by interacting with Sora, the slime, she kind of deduced that it's this Mela girl, Meryl girl, whatever, something with an M. The other slime tamer, and she's like, I got this icky feeling from her. And it's because she's been being tailed by her. At least that's what we think so far. Again, it could not be her, but things are pointing in that direction. But the mystified and the grossness, it could be like maybe her slime's ability. We don't really know what's going on there yet. But that mystery is doing a really good job of doing it. And the relationships with these folks of, like, you know, thinking back to the fortune teller, and like, you need to trust don't trust anybody, but the ones that you feel that feeling like you can trust them, and you got to give them a little bit. And she opened up, and they opened up back by they earned that by actions, and their action was believing her so much so that like we need to go like if she has that feeling, we need to go investigate, and it pointed them in the right direction. And I think that was just so cool. And so far, like the writing has really been really solid. I've dove deep into the episodes. I think it's done emotional. It's done emotional writing really well. I like the way that Ivy's being depicted. I like her relationship with Sora. I like the relationships that she's built. The only thing missing for me personally is her. She's a tamer. She's making it known that her power is taming. It wouldn't behoove her or us or me to say, okay, well, you could tame that panther as well too, and that could be accepted as one of your tamed animals. I understand it's not as travel friendly as a slime, but I'm just waiting. I want more panthers. What I'm trying to say. But this has just been one of those really bright spots on a season to where a lot of anime this season has started off at the peak of the mountain and just fallen so hard. And there's been a few anime, even a couple that we've dropped here on the channel that have went from like stud to dud, went from hero to zero, right? You know, went from great Taco Bell in to poo poo out. You know what I mean? It's just been really bad this season, and I like that this one's the opposite of those. It started off mediocre to so and has gotten really good, and yeah, I'm just really happy about that, and I'm glad I stuck it through to watch this and be able to talk about it with you guys, because like this has been one of those really cool anime this season, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I want to see who is it. Is it this girl that she suspects? Is it someone else? Is it one of her brothers? I can't wait to see who ends up being these bad guys, and then what comes after this. I think it's pretty good. So, anyways, I'll see you guys next week for more Tamer, and yeah, see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Peace.